Thank you for joining me for Veg with Lisa Live. I am Lisa. This is most definitely live. This is not a veg, but I'm going to use it in today's episode when I show you how to make sprouted chickpea yummus. Sprouted chickpea hummus. But before I get started, please type in the comments, say hi, let me know that you're here and that you can see me and that you can hear me because I talk to myself about chickpeas and sprouting enough as it is. Anybody? Anybody out there? All right. So I want to show you something so super cool. Have you noticed that sprouting is all the rage again, thanks to Mr. Doug Evans? And I am all for it. It's really cool. I remember I was actually talking to a client just on the phone yesterday, and she was like, "Did you know sprouting is back?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know sprouting is back." She said, "Do you remember it from the 70s?" And I was like, "Yeah, I remember it from the 70s. You bought like special jars with special lids." Well, that's really cool. You can do that if you want to, but you don't need any special equipment to sprout. And I bet you might not know that you can sprout chickpeas. That's right, you can. And my favorite homemade hummus is sprouted chickpea hummus. Hummus made from sprouted chickpeas. Hi, Rob. Cool. So, actually, too much talking. Let me show you. If you are used to cooking your own chickpeas, that is how you're going to start the same way to sprout your chickpeas if you want to do that. Now, listen, if you don't want to sprout chickpeas, you can just make regular old hummus, of course. But this is really cool, so I wanted to show it to you. First thing you're going to do is take some chickpeas, that are dried, and you soak them, preferably overnight. You can soak them a little bit longer. Then you don't need any fancy smanchy jar. In fact, you can use the yellow Tupperware strainer, also from the 70s if you want, and place it on something to collect the liquid. Now, I have been soaking or sprouting these for a couple of days. So look at this. This is so cool. Look at their little baby sprout tail. Isn't that the best? So you soak them, you drain them, you put them in a strainer of some sort, and you let them sit, preferably out of like direct sunlight or heat or anything like that. And then a couple times a day, every time you walk by, you water them and you give them a rinse. And then you get these amazing sprouted chickpeas. I just think that is like so flippin' cool. I love it. Now, I originally found the idea for this sprouted chickpea hummus from a raw cookbook. So if the original sprouting took place in the 70s, there was also a raw food movement. Do you remember that? Like maybe in the early 2000s? Well, I thought it was so fun and it was a ton of work. And anyway, I'm not sure that exclusively raw food is that good for everyone, but it was fun to experiment. And so I found the original recipe for this sprouted chickpea hummus in a raw food cookbook. So what you did was you soaked and sprouted the chickpeas like I just showed you, and then you use them raw. I'm not so sure about that. So I think the original cookbook gave the option of steaming the chickpeas. So that's what I do. I soak them, I sprout them, and then I steam them in a regular old pot with a steamer basket. And so that's what I've already done, and I'm going to show you that. This could not be simpler. It's a lot of steps, but it's a lot of fun. So I took some sprouted chickpeas just like those, and then I put them in a steamer basket and I soaked them. So if you like to peel your chickpeas, sometimes the skin will come off. I think it's kind of fun to do that, but you absolutely don't have to. So voila, soaked, sprouted, steamed chickpeas. Now, what about this hummus? Okay, well, we're going to put these in. Oh yeah, look, now you can see that some of the skins are coming off. You do not have to go through and pick those out, but if you just see them floating around, you might like to. Some people believe it's the skins that make it difficult to digest. So I'm going to take the chickpeas out, save that cooking juice. That's called aquafaba, and we might want it for our hummus, or if we don't use it for our hummus, you can use it for cooking, add it to soups. You can saute with it if you're on an oil-free diet. I've got my, my Cuisinart down here, and I'm going to toss these in. Now, if you don't have one, you can use a high-speed blender. But I'm telling you, you're gonna want that food processor for lots of things in your kitchen. And yeah, they're expensive, but this is the second one I've had from a garage sale because people buy them and they don't use them, and then they put them in a garage sale for $5. It's a really great steal. Okay, so I've got my chickpeas in there. I'm going to toss in some garlic. I'm just going to use a little bit since Emily's not on live. One of the secrets to hummus is tahini. Tahini is sesame seed paste. And if you're not super familiar with it, it is basically like peanut butter only made with sesame seeds. And you can buy it at most any grocery store. This is one from Trader Joe's. You can buy it in organic markets. You can buy it at Middle Eastern markets. It's just sesame seeds paste, like sesame seeds ground, like peanut is in peanut butter. Okay, so I've got my sprouted chickpeas. I've got my tahini. Lots of lemon juice. I like lemony hummus. And let's see, some olive oil. I'm just going to throw all of this in here so I don't have to make too much noise. Some salt. I thought I had a spoon out here. Well, I don't need a spoon. Sea salt. And remember, we don't want too much salt, but most of us get our excess sodium from processed and convenience food, not from your home cooking. So I've got all that in my Cuisinart. Plug your ears. Let's see how we're doing. I can get this down here so you can see it better. Here we go. Look at that. Okay, it smells like chickpeas. Yeah, I'm just going to give it a little bit of a stir. And it looks to me like I'm going to need a little bit more liquid. You could use some more oil, but that's why I saved that cooking liquid. You don't want to use your soaking liquid. You want to discard that, but you can save your cooking liquid. Here we go. Okay, cool. Let's see. I've got my sprouted chickpeas in there. I've got some garlic, some lemon juice, tahini, olive oil, and then I'm going to add, since it's finally spring, I'm going to add some fresh cilantro. You could also use parsley, and this is not traditional, but you probably see it in the supermarket all the time. Everybody's putting all kinds of flavorings in their hummus. Rob asked me this morning, could you make spicy hummus? You bet. You can put whatever you want in your hummus. The main ingredients are chickpeas usually, although there is white bean hummus too. Tahini, lemon juice, olive oil, garlic, salt. Here we go again. I love putting the cilantro in there because it makes this a really, really, really beautiful color. Sure, you can buy your own hummus. That's not a problem. They sell it everywhere these days, but make sure you read the labels if you do. A lot of it uses cheap canola or soybean oil. We want to use good quality olive oil, and some of the flavored versions might have undesirable things like sugar and bleh. Whenever possible, this is just fun, right? It's no big deal. Look, you can see the pretty flecks of green in there. And I think maybe just a little bit more of the liquid. Yeah, again, you could do olive oil, but we don't need a ton of oil in that. Let's try it. One more little go. This is one of my favorite kitchen utensils. Look, Mom, no hands. All right. Oh, yeah. That looks good. Nice and creamy. Absolutely. Okay, so let me show you what I usually do. I like to plate it up all nice here. This is going to be a good part of my lunch. Oh, don't you just love the green flecks in there and the cilantro? It smells so amazing. So I like to do that and then drizzle with just a teeny bit more olive oil. And then I really like to sprinkle with some paprika. I like the color on the top of that, and I like the taste. Isn't that beautimous? So let me give it a try. So I wanted to show you as well, I've got a few different veg on my hummus platter. If you like those little carrots, those little baby carrots, go for it. I think they're kind of boring. And besides, they're not really baby carrots anyway. They're just big carrots cut to look like baby carrots. I like to mix it up with my veg. And remember, we need a variety of plants for a healthy gut. Some sliced cucumbers. These are radishes. And these are turnips. That's what I'm going to dive into here. Mm, mm. Oh, it's absolutely delicious. And you know what? Since I just steamed those chickpeas, it's still warm. Mm, mm, mm. I can only imagine if I had a Lebanese grandmother and she made homemade hummus and served it for breakfast. Oh, great question. Rob asked, why sprouted? I'm so glad you asked, Rob. Well, as with the 70s, this current sprouting craze is reminding us that sprouted things have a little bit more health content, nutritional content. So if you think about a seed, when it is just dry, it's like blah. Then you plant it in the ground, you water it, it gets light, it starts the alive process. It starts coming alive. And when it sends out those shoots are full of the sun and the green, the chlorophyll, the energy, and the nutrition is starting to come alive. So you can buy all kinds of things sprouted these days. You can buy sprouted oats. You can buy sprouted broccoli seeds. Those are really, really nutritious. It is believed that the little baby holds all the potential. And then once we start to sprout, it's even better for us than just it was in its raw form. Great question. So sprouted chickpeas are a little bit healthier for us than regular old chickpeas, which are already really great for us. So you're getting a double whammy. You're getting a twofer. Plus, it's really fun to grow these little babies. Mm-mm-mm. Thank you for joining me for lunch on Veg with Lisa live. Sprouted chickpea hummus. You can do it. Super easy. Mm-mm-mm. See you next week.